Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. As promised, more videos are finally going to be coming. I have pretty much finished all of my orders. I'm still taking orders daily, but like they're definitely manageable. I get them done by the end of the day, so nothing crazy. So I will be having time stupid stuff on the floor to record more videos for you guys. A lot of you guys have been getting the Melco EMT16X and you've been posting in the group a few questions you've had, so I thought I'd go ahead and make this video to just give you the basics of the Melco embroidery machine and what you kind of need to know to embroider kind of like anything. I know a lot of us who follow me on this page do pretty much kid shirts. I know a lot of people do hats and just do adult stuff, left chest logo, so I'm trying to give the basics, and I may miss a thing or two, but I'm just trying to give you a basic understanding of things you need to know about the Melco to be able to run it. Also, I was thinking about doing this video for the brother embroidery machines. If that's something you would be interested in, please leave it down below, or just any questions you have in general about the Melco or the brother embroidery machines. Guys, it is the end of December, so if you are going to be purchasing a machine, make sure that you buy it now, because it is a tax write-off during this time. If you want any more information on the Melco EMT16X embroidery machines, you can contact my sales rep Todd. His information is always down below. Super nice, no pushiness, no pressure type of guy, so he'll answer any questions you have and give you his best advice. So let's pretty much get into the basics of the Melco embroidery machine. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It has 16 colors, so 16 thread spools go on top, and these are all of the thread needle bars are behind here, obviously, but this is where you thread the machine and all that. So just come straight down, you have your needles, and this is the needle bar. Now, one thing a lot of people don't know, that when I've mentioned the presser foot, and I like to say it's like a little gear behind the needle case. I'll show you that real quick. It is this right here. Let me move the needle case over. This is the control panel where you can move your needle case. So this is like the needles, the colors, needles to move over, and I wanted to move it to the left. So I'm pushing those two together and it moves. Moving it all the way over to the last color. Alright, it keeps going unfocusing. This is the presser foot, and this is very, very important. This is the gear I was telling you about. For shirts, all the way down, and I do 2 clicks up. Oh, see, even more. I try to go slow. 1, 2. 2 for shirts. You will notice if it is too low, you'll get like a trace around your design. And it's because this is hitting your garment. So you don't want it pushing down on your garment, just lightly. Also, this is what would cause maybe some thread breaks, your thread to maybe come out when you're trying to embroider. So this is very, very, very important. So for shirts, I do 2, and then for hoodies, I do 3. For hats, I like to do 4, and those numbers are from the bottom. So I push it all the way down. Whoa, you gotta go slow. 1, 2 for shirts, 3 for hoodies, 4 for hats. So I just want to mention that. That is very, very important. Always make sure you're checking that if you're having any issues with your machine and it like gives you thread breaks or whatever. These are brackets for your hoop, at least that's what I call it. For the 8x9 mighty hoop, and pretty much all like the smaller sizes, like my messy floor. This is the 5x5. The 4.25 fits on this, so it's the closest 2 holes. They're back 2, you can barely see it, but there's another one right here. But the back 2 are for like the 13x11 or like the extra XL hoop. So you'd have to change it if it doesn't fit, obviously. Trying to think of anything else you may need to know. The threads I use are Madeira. The threads I use are Madeira Poly Neon. You can get them from allstitch.com. Here is your bobbin. So you would just, let me see if I can hold this with my other hand. You just pull it out. I use the magnetic bobbins, Magniglide pre-wound L Shape. Click it back in. This is where you would oil it, and you could spray it out for any lint. Needles right here. To change the needle, you get a flathead screwdriver which comes with your machine, and you turn to the left, you pull the needle out. Never ever unscrew this all the way. You will ruin everything. So please never ever 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 do that. You just loosen it. Do not loosen it all the way, because this will just come out. So don't do that, please. Just slightly turn it to the left till you can pull the needle out. Also, another thing, Fast clamp pros. Very, very important. Never ever leave your fast clamp pros open when you turn off your machine, because when you go to turn it on the next day, they're going to be open and you'll break it. Fast clamp pros, close them before you're done, or just take them off the machine. I get scared that I'm gonna forget, so every time I use them, I take them off the machine. You never want to, because it'll just, when you turn the machine on, it'll just, and it'll crack, you can break it. So please, fast clamp pros, take them off or have them closed. Another thing, if you have the emergency stop engaged, nothing is going to work on your machine. You see it's red. So you push and start, it's not doing nothing. Well, the emergency stop is on. So always check to make sure it's not on. And you just let it go and it turns green. It's fine. Okay, so now we're going to be in the Melco OS, which is the operating system. This would be equivalent to the screen on the brother machines. This is how you're going to run the machine. You run the Melco off of a computer and a Windows computer. So, few basic things to know. Active feed is your tension. So there's no dials or anything on this machine. This is where you adjust your tension. So you tell it the minimum. For AJ Blank's kids t-shirts, I do a 7. Hoodies, you can go up to an 8. It depends on how thick it is. Hats, I always start at a 10. And the machine will adjust as needed. Now let's say you're getting like loops. That means your tension is too high. If you're getting loops on top of your stitching. Now if your thread keeps breaking, you might need to increase your tension, because that means it's not feeding enough thread into the machine. So this is pretty much the thread that's getting fed into the machine, if that makes any sense. Okay, so for shirts, it's always at a 7, sometimes a 6, depends, just depends, but just you can play with that. Always keep it on auto. And this F right here is design orientation. So if you want to flip it, so one time we'll flip it to the left, and one more time we'll flip it upside down, and I'm gonna flip it back to the normal side. That's how you flip your design. Dang, hold on, let me do it again. Alright, cool. Here are your hoops. You can add hoops, take hoops away. These are just the hoops I use the most. I have my Mighty hoops here, and it tells you the size in inches: 4.25, 5.5, 13 by 11, 7.25, 8 by 9. These are the hoops I use the most. And then of course I have my fast clamps, the XL hoop. And the red WACF is the hat hoop, the red wide angle cap frame. If you're doing hats, you need to select this right here. Alright, and I'm going back to 8 by 9 because that's what this design fits in. Now, let's say you put your design in, and okay, this fits inside. There's like a dashed line here. Now, if you move your design up on your machine, and it's too high up, this dashed line now turns to a solid line, meaning it will not fit. You want to make sure in your settings, what is it, settings or options? You want to make sure enable hoop limit is detected. That way you cannot break your machine by making a design too big that doesn't fit in your hoop. If you have this enabled, it will not even let you embroider. It'll say, haha, psych. You can't. It's gonna say hoop limit detected. So you'll know, like, oh my god, I almost broke my machine. It's not gonna fit. I have enable bobbin thread detection. That means, like, if it runs out of bobbin, it's not gonna keep going, it'll stop. There's also hoop forward at the end of the design, so it'll bring the whole entire hoop forward, so you can just take it off the machine if you want it. Some people do, some people don't. It's up to you. Inching stitch count is how many stitches before it starts like going full speed ahead. So when you click start, it could just go or you can wait and let it go and then it'll start stitching. I leave it at 4 because it gives the machine enough time to pick up the bobbin. Jump count for trim. So I have it set as a 1. So this is how many stitches does it need to be considered for a jump stitch. That's just how I perceive it. So if this is at like a 4, some designs you're gonna have jump stitches everywhere. I leave it as a 1. That way it pretty much cuts all the jump stitches. Color sequence. So I accidentally deleted my entire thing. So this is where all your colors would be. I can show you how to do that real quick. So this right here should match those threads up there. So in order to match them, all you do is get the color number from the cones and then you put it into the software right here. So I can show you. So needle 3 is 1874. I'm reading that off the thread spool that's currently on this. So I'm going to click on 3 and I'm going to put 1874 and bam, it pops right up. So I'm going to click apply and OK. So now it's set in the machine. Number 2 is red. And that is 1838, I believe. Yep. Apply, OK. Number 5 is gold. 1670. Number 4 is yellow, which is already right. It's this yellow right here. And so apply. 6 is aqua, which is 1645. And 7 is black, which is 1800. So you really only have to do this once. Unless you change a color out, then you would change it after the fact. But you really only have to do this once. You don't have to do it every time. And this makes embroidering a lot easier because your machine already has all the colors set in it, so you don't have to go in and set the colors after the fact. Okay, so now we have the thread colors set. So whenever we need to go in and change a design, we can. So every time you upload a design, you will do file, load design, and then what was the name on the shirt? Penny. You can type in the name of the shirt, which literally makes it so much easier. You don't have to search. So Penny. And then what I like to do is hit the hoop in this bullseye, which is center, and it'll center the design. So see, now it is now center in the hoop. Sorry, that's my garage door opening. Then you want to go to color sequence. This is where your machine figures out the steps, okay? So down here, it'll show you the colors that are currently in the design. And you have active colors if you want to auto match. The issue is I did this design not using Madeira colors, so it won't automatically convert, but there's an easy way around that. So you can just drag and drop right on top so it'll match the colors. This is actually supposed to be lavender. Okay. And I'm just dragging and dropping to where the correct thread color is on my machine. Alright. And then I'm going to click apply now and apply. So now you'll see all the colors are here. So this is an applique design, meaning there is fabric inside of the design, meaning there's going to be stops that are needed because you need to tell the machine what to do. And you have to put fabric down, you got to cut and all that. So if you go right here, you'll see it's currently at step 0. You click step forward, and it's actually going to go through the entire design. So I'm going to just show you. There's a total of 10 steps. So it lights up step by step so you can see what it's working on. So you know what each step is. So step 1 is the name. Obviously, we don't need to stop at all for that. Step 2, you'll see a tiny pink outline. That is the placement stitch. So we want it to stop between step 2 and step 3 because we're going to be putting the fabric down right after step 2. So you'll hit step 3 and click applique. Applique tells the machine, okay, you need to stop. Let's push the hoop forward so they have time to cut. All right, and then from 3 to 4, we also needed to stop because now after 3, you need to cut it to get to 4. All right, now from 4 to 5, we don't need anything because it's just doing the placement stitch. But 5 to 6, we're gonna need something. And 6 to 7. Alright, and then in the rest, we don't need to make any more stops because it's just doing the final stitching. So that is how you would finish it, and then you'll click apply. You always make a click apply and then click OK. And now the design sequence is set. Trying to think of anything else. Let's say you mess up your design and like make a hole in the shirt and then you got to restart. You may just put the shirt on and try to start. You can't because it's in the middle of a design. So you need to make sure you hit this right here, which is reset design. So it'll reset it and then you can start all over again. Also make sure before you embroider that you always hoop center. That's always what I do, just to make sure everything is centered. I'm trying to think of anything else you need to know. That's pretty much all the basics. If you are running a hat, remember you need to flip it upside down, which is this right here. You'll hit the F 2 times and it'll flip it upside down. Here is the speed. So these machines go up to 1500 stitches per minute. Now you pretty much won't run 1500, but that's how fast they do go, and you can adjust the speed there. I'm trying to think. Down here it tells you how long it'll take to embroider the design. It says 15 minutes, and it'll tell you how far you've gotten into the embroidery process. If you have more than one machine, over here is the machine list. If you guys know, my first machine is called Unicorn, the next one's Titan. The next one, I don't know what it'll be called, but yes, you can run all your machines off one computer, up to 30 machines. There's also this 3D button, so you can see your design in 3D, like that. I don't even know if you guys saw the 3D button, but it's that yellow button right there. Just trying to think of other things. These levers, you need to open these when you're changing your threads, because otherwise you can't pull your thread. It'll be tight, it'll be stuck. So to change a thread, you gotta open these levers. Make sure you close them before you embroider, otherwise you'll have so much thread tangled up in your bobbin area. It's gonna suck. It's happened to me, you know, I do it, so it happens. But make sure you close these before starting your machine. Again, this right here is the thread sensor bar, so that's pretty much how the machine will know if you have a thread break. It's the sensor. That's pretty much it. If you have any specific questions, leave them down below and I'll try to answer them for you. I hope this was helpful, at least a little bit, on things you need to know about the machine to run the machine. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye, and Merry Christmas!